realize I was as late as I was this morning. I was out filming the drive impressions for the RC F Fuji edition, and I'll have that up for you guys later along with a PV test drive. To start, we are going to answer our questions that were asked on Instagram. If you want to follow me there, it's at MilesPerHr. You can also follow me on TikTok, also at MilesPerHr, and YouTube's community page. Patrick is once again manning the camera, and as I said, this is the 21 Lexus RC F Fuji Speedway Edition. It's a limited production car. They made like 60 for the 21 model year, and they're making another 60 for the 22 model year. What questions do we have? First of all, thank you folks who are tuned in live. Super appreciate you guys being here. We will prioritize your questions, of course, because you guys are here, and we'll trickle in those questions from Instagram and YouTube's community page. So Patrick, what do we got?
Hold on, I'm going through all the...
Scrolling back?
Yeah. Let's see what it just says. And you're late.
I am late. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, guys. I came with the goods. It just took me a while.
First question, how's the styling and do you like it?
Do I like the styling? Well, I'll tell you what. This doesn't look like a regular RCF because of all of the carbon fiber on here. You've got this carbon fiber hood, carbon fiber front splitter. This one has the optional triple beam LED headlights. The heat extractor on the hood looks cool. You've got a carbon fiber roof. You've got these 19-inch forged alloy, I think they're BBS wheels, carbon ceramic brakes with red painted brake calipers. And you've got this big old wing on the back, also in carbon fiber. Patrick pointed out something interesting. They've got the carbon fiber basically nose to tail, except that the trunk is not made out of carbon fiber. I feel like they could have saved a little more weight there. But you do have a carbon fiber diffuser down here and a titanium exhaust system from which you hear that naturally aspirated V8. It sounds so good. But so to sum up, the styling is really cool. This looks like a dedicated track car, and that's their intent with it. Doesn't look like your regular RCF.
What's the color called?
This is Sonic Chrome, I think they call this color. It's one of only 2 or 3 paint colors for the 21 model year. For 22, they added a blue color.
Kevin asks, what is the horsepower on this?
Horsepower on this one is 472. Let's pop the hood. 472 horsepower from a 5-liter naturally aspirated V8, 395 pound-feet of torque. Of course, you have hood struts, but the hood itself doesn't weigh anything, being carbon fiber.
That's nice. I love that.
Yeah, and you're seeing the marbled carbon fiber resin under the hood. The engine bay looks pretty good. I mean, you've got the blue painting on the manifold there. This is fake carbon fiber here, and so it's otherwise plastic here. Air intake coming off of that.
Let's see. Worship Kids asked, this or the Mustang?
The Mustang GT500.
Oh, it just said Mustang.
Yeah, but I'm thinking that would be the kind of main rival to this, because this is a $98,000, $102,500 as tested car. GT500 is like 70, 73. Guys, I'd take the GT500 personally. I mean, so much power, 700, I can't even remember, 710 horsepower, whatever that is, and even more track potential than this one here. So I would take the GT500 personally, and you're saving yourself, 27 grand.
That car guy 67 Retro asks, do you prefer this or the base model M4?
Yeah, so base model M4 also would be like 71, 72 to start. So quite a bit less than this one. And you can get that one with a manual. You can't get this one with a manual. It's only with an 8-speed automatic gearbox. I mean, look, if it's my money and I'm being money conscious, I'm going to get the M4. Though I prefer the styling of the RC F Fuji over that M4. I think it's more cohesive. I love the carbon fiber bits on this one. You can get some carbon fiber bits on the M4, but only on the competition, and then you give up the manual. But the driving dynamics of the M4 are really sensational. And that one is not even primed to be a dedicated track car, whereas this one is. Though this one rides really well. Should we start it?
Asked, are the air vents real?
Yes, these are functional. Okay, so this is a functional heat extractor. So yes, real, pulling
Because
hot,
it has,
hot air out of the engine. And then yeah, these corner vents are also functional. So going to the, the heat exchangers and sending cool air in through to the brakes and tires.
You're gonna start it?
Yeah, we'll start it. Also, this vent back here is also functional.
Oh, that's right.
So that's manipulating the air, keeping it tight to the side of the car. And then you also have carbon fiber. I forgot to mention this carbon fiber piece, the side skirt. Carbon fiber. Let's start it up.
And the horn too.
Ah, the horn. Okay, we'll do that.
Worship kids, how you doing, man?
Light on the revs, but it sounds good, right?
Nice. Anthony Toe asks, are the seats comfortable?
Very. Yeah, these seats are super comfy.
Too.
They look good too.
Yeah, they look good.
Yeah, like the red. They call this color octane red. Beautiful colors. You got the Alcantara in the door inserts, the leather there, red tinge to the carbon fiber, but the seats are beautiful. You've got these pass-throughs for harnesses. You can pop out the plastic pieces there and bring in your racing harnesses if you're taking it to the track. But the seats are really comfortable, very well supported. Alcantara and leather blended in together there. And you've got these F of the F brand for Lexus on the headrests. Really cool. The grayish on the red is a really nice combo.
Another question.
Sure.
0 to 100.
So someone asked 0 to 100 to 0, and I looked up that figure was 16.9 seconds. I don't know the 0 to 100. I know the 0 to 60. 0 to 100 kph would be car and driver got 4.0 seconds. My real world testing, I got 4.4.
Dylan asks, how are the paddles?
Paddles are, so you can click on it. Oh, sorry, I closed the door.
You're good.
Find out with the door closed. They're plastic. They're not metal, and you know that they're plastic, but they feel really good to actuate. There's a nice solid click, and they move. Like it's not like they move like a fraction of an inch. They actually move. So I like the paddles, and they're good size.
Dylan asks, how does the carbon look?
Carbon looks high quality. Yeah. It looks really good.
Especially this.
I think
looks...
the red tinge carbon fiber in the interior looks really cool. Yeah. And goes with the red on black combo. But the carbon fiber in the exterior looks solid. Yeah. And I mean, who doesn't love exposed carbon fiber?
Yeah, the wing. The
wing really looks amazing, right? Like you can really see the nice weave of that carbon fiber. And the fact that they like wove it into an F on the side is really cool.
Cameron, interior quality and creak test.
Okay. Let's do it. So, generally speaking about the interior, it's, you got your Toyota Lexus build quality, and so things are pretty tightly put together, but, you can find some creaks, especially on this harder injection molded piece up here in this plastic. There are minor creaks if you press on this right here. But in general, it's pretty solid. Yeah, pretty solid. Like I'd say the creaks are small. There's just a little bit of give, but nicely put together cabin. This is starting to look a little dated, but the interior quality of the materials themselves are good.
Jaden asks, color of interior.
Yeah, so I think it's octane red is what they call it, and this is the right color for this cabin.
Yeah,
I think you can only choose red or black for the interior on the Fuji.
Stoke asks, Easter eggs.
Yeah, so I was thinking about that one. I'm like, Easter eggs. I'm not sure if there are any Easter eggs, except for, I just showed you the F inside the wing woven with the carbon fiber. But Lexus as a brand doesn't typically do Easter eggs. Toyota started to do some on the Tundra, the new Tundra, but I don't think they threw in any Easter eggs. The only thing that's it's not Easter eggy to me, but I love as a detail is the red carpet.
Yeah.
Red carpet looks so sick.
No,
Yeah, it'll
really
probably
do.
show dirt a lot quicker than black carpet, but I mean, it just looks so sick.
Muhammad asks, is it a good daily driver?
Yeah, shockingly. So this is a dedicated track car, says Lexus, but the ride quality in normal or eco or custom is excellent. So, and I'll have more thoughts on that in the drive impressions. But yeah, it's a really good riding track car. Probably one of the best I've ever had.
Roxy asks, this or Kia Stinger GT?
Yeah, so that's an interesting comparison because the Stinger GT, obviously completely different body style. It's a four-door coupe design sedan. Very different performance level. So even the GT has 365 horsepower. This is 472. That's a twin-turbo V6. This is a V8 NA. So I mean, it's a very odd comparison. If it's my only car, I might consider the Stinger GT because it's got an extra set of seats and I have a baby. But if it is not my only car, I'd go with this because this is just more fun to drive.
Are there a lot of plastic in the car?
Yeah, you're gonna find some plastics in here for sure. I'm pretty sure these pieces here are made of plastic. This is injection molded. Your start-stop button's plastic. The paddle shifters are plastic. This piece on the wheel is plastic. These are softer plastics here on the center console. The door panels also have some hard plastics down low. So yeah, there's plastic in this cabin for sure. It's not the first impression you get. The first impression you get is really nice Alcantara and leather in certain places and a leather wrapped steering wheel, but yeah, there's plastic.
Do you like the steering wheel?
I do, yeah. So the perforations on the wheel feel really nice. The size of the wheel is just right for me. You got the red contrast stitching in there. One thing I said it was missing in the drive impressions is a red center marker. This is a track car, but the center marker always tells you where the center of the wheel is with wheels pointed straight. And so it's very useful in a track setting, and you don't have it on this car. It's sort of odd. They put the red here, no red there. That was an omission.
Yeah. Let's see. What's the price on the car?
$102,500 is tested, and that's with the three options I listed: the triple beam LED headlights, navigation. Why? Just get Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. Don't do that. And the Mark Levinson sound system. I think it's a 17 speaker. It's a lot of speakers in the system, and it's a good sound system. Listen to it in my test drive.
Tumble asks, does it compare any near to the Lexus LFA?
Okay, so the LFA, I mean, the V10 NA, that was a couple $100,000 car when it launched. It's now like almost $1 million car.
Crazy.
The soundtrack from that car is unbelievable. People regard it as one of the best sounding engines ever. So you're getting, I suppose the comparison is Lexus manufactured it, they engineered it. You get the center digital gauge like you do in the LFA. It doesn't move like it does in the IS 500. But yeah, I mean, short of Lexus being the same people who did the LFA as they did this, there's not a lot of comparison you can make. Different engine, different gearbox. Yeah.
Worship Kids asked, do you think it feels old school because of the buttons?
Like you mean here on the center console?
Like outdated?
I guess. I mean, like, look, a lot of manufacturers are, if they got rid of them, they're bringing back like the volume knob and the tuner knob. I think what makes it feel dated most is the trackpad and the non-touch infotainment, which if they were going to make this a touchscreen, they'd probably do it like they did in the ES, which, guys, please watch that review if you haven't already. It's dying right now. Please go save it. Where they'll bring the screen closer and they'll give it touch responsiveness. But what this needs is the new user interface that they have from the Lexus UX or NX, I can't remember which one introduced that system, and it's also on the new Toyota Tundra. So it needs that upgrade. That's what makes it feel old most to me. This, sure, it looks a little dated with all the buttons here, but that's not what does it. It's the user interface with the touchscreen.
Do you mind opening the trunk?
Not at all. Let's see.
Anthony, too. Sorry, I was trying to get to that.
Yeah, so here you actually have a decent amount of cargo space. The rear seats do not fold, so this is it. This is all the space you've got. Under here, I think that's just a tire repair kit. You don't get a spare tire. Yep, you get an inflation kit. But there's a respectable amount of storage space back here. You get some tie-down points.
Headroom, too.
Headroom, yeah. So let's go look at that.
I really like this.
The wing is awesome, right? So, I mean, just to show you the rear seat space, I'm 6 feet tall. I'm going to climb back here and show you what we're working with. This is my headroom situation. Oh yeah, here. There you go. Non-existent, right? So I'm like doing this, which is kind of what you'd expect in the back of a Mustang or a Camaro or anything like that. Even the M4, my headroom is very tight. I don't think it was quite as tight as this is, so I cannot sit upright. I also won't be able to move forward too much because when the seat goes back to my driving position, my knees are going to be right there. So they're right at the seat back, so I can't slide forward too much. So this is not going to be for adults back here, or maybe smaller size adults. It would be mostly for kids or for luggage. That's the back seat situation. The front seats have plenty of headroom. So when I get this back forward, I'll show you that deal. Getting out is interesting. All right, so I have in my seat setting, a couple inches of headroom, so I feel very much like I've got the atmosphere I need in this car.
Can you say that you like the car?
I can. Yeah. Can I say it's worth the $100,000 starting figure? No, not really. I'm also not perhaps the intended market, right? Like someone who really wants the best RC you can buy would want this car. But $100,000, about 30 grand more, a little less than 30, than its main rivals to start is a big ask. You have to really want what Lexus is offering here.
Horn test.
Horn test. Sorry, I forgot to do that earlier. We'll wait till this car goes by so I don't bug them. Ready?
Okay.
It's funny, I just did the drive impressions, and I honked the horn, and I immediately thought like train, right? Like a little freight train, like the kind of the whale at the end there is a little train-esque.
This is a good question.
Yeah.
Diego asked, this model will be only available in the United States or will come to other parts of America? And he's from Panama.
That's a great question. I know in the US, they're only bringing like the 60 units and the 60 units. Obviously, Fuji Speedway is in Japan. It's Toyota Lexus's. They do a lot of proving stuff there at that track, and so it's a very famed circuit for them, and that's why they wanted to endow this car with that name. I would be shocked if they didn't have this model here offered in Japan as well, but I don't know for certain whether it's offered outside of the US and Japan. I don't know.
Hey Dylan, how are you doing? Dylan asked, how are the paddles?
Dylan asked some good questions. He asked some good questions. Sorry we didn't get to your Instagram questions yet, Dylan. So the paddles, as I said a bit earlier, you can tell they're made of plastic, not aluminum, but the actuation of the paddles is great. You get this nice, satisfying click every time you pull a paddle. And the transmission itself, as you'll see in the drive impressions, is great in manual mode.
Can you do the panic alarm test? Or you have to turn off the car for that.
Yeah, I'd have to turn off the car. All right, why not? Why not? Where's the key? In my pocket. All right, so close up your door. We're gonna do this just briefly, guys. I don't want to bother anyone else. We're not doing this at 8 a.m., so it's a little later in the day, and I'm late, so it's okay. All right, here we go. Yep.
Oh, that's loud.
That was.
That's loud.
Okay, that was very loud, guys. Super loud, right in my ear.
That was super loud.
Won't be able to hear for the rest of the day.
Do you know the length and width of the car?
I don't know those dimensions off the top of my head. I'm sorry, guys.
How's the sport mode?
Louder exhaust note, quicker throttle response. It changes the display on the gauge cluster. I can show you that if you want. And then
I want to see the display too.
Yeah, there's one more. There's Sport Plus, and that's even more changes, even quicker throttle response. Sport mode's kind of like you get in and you want to hear more of that exhaust, but you still want a good driving experience around town. You hit Sport mode. So here we go. That's normal. Sport. get kind of the white accent around everywhere except the red line. And then here's Sport Plus, black now, but you still have the red accent there. And then if you want to go into launch control, you're obviously you have to be in drive. You hit the traction control button once. I don't know if it'll let me do it with the door open, but we'll see. And then you hit launch. Okay, so it does. And then it primes you. You've got 3 seconds to use the launch control system, otherwise it will cancel and time out. It actually timed out on me while I was doing the test drive, but not the drive impressions.
Dylan, the carbon fiber is pretty nice.
Yeah. Yeah, so you get the red tinge carbon fiber inside and just the exposed carbon fiber outside.
And the wing is pretty nice.
The wing is really cool.
Yeah, we definitely like the wing and stuff.
The wing's cool.
Kevin said, I think I'll be able to hear the alarm from my house.
Oh, geez, seriously
yeah, it's
though.
really loud.
I wasn't expecting that. It really hurt my ears, guys. Next time I do that for you guys, I'm gonna be outside the car and far away.
Kevin or Miles, this or the BMW M6 Coupe?
That's an interesting one. So the M6, okay, so the M6 they don't make. They make an M8, so maybe the M8. The M8 starts at 106. M8 competition is 116, I think. This is going to be cheaper than those. It's going to have less space. The M8 is going to have more space in the rear seats. That's really more of a Grand Tour. So, Grand Tour performance. So it would have more space in the rear. I think I like how it looks better than the M8, to be honest, than the M8 Coupe. The M8 Grand Coupe I think looks fantastic. One of the best looking cars on sale. And the Alpina B8, just going to plug that one. If you guys haven't seen that test drive and drive impressions, they went up yesterday, or 2 days ago. 2 days ago and yesterday, so go watch those. But this versus the M8, I'd say I'll take the M8 for daily driving because it's just more space and it's got better technology. But this one just to look at. And to go out for a drive, honestly, you wouldn't do bad either way.
Nearben asked from Instagram, in what ways is the M4 better? And is it more muscle car, less track?
Yeah, so that's a good question. Both good questions. So Anirban asks in what ways this is better than an M4. I'm gonna say looks-wise, I think it looks cooler.
Yeah.
Like I feel like you pull up and you open your garage door, and your heart starts to kind of go a little bit because you see that wing and you see all the carbon fiber. You're like, okay, we're gonna go have fun, right? So looks-wise, I think it's better than an M4. Technology-wise, M4 is gonna be better. M4 is available with a manual, which this is not. I think the seats in this car look really cool. The M4 optional seats that you can get in the competition model look even cooler, but these are going to be daily comfortable, whereas those, not so much, at least not getting in and out. Performance-wise, the M4 is going to have a slight edge in certain environments. I think the steering is better. What was the other part of his question, though? And is it more muscle car or track car? I mean, the V8 definitely says muscle, the noise of it, but the weight savings with the carbon fiber, the carbon ceramic brakes, the Torsen limited slip rear differential, those all say track car to me. I think kind of splits the difference right down the middle because also a muscle car is more comfortable. This is more comfortable than I would say pretty much every track dedicated car I've driven.
They want to see the cap.
Oh,
Saying it's cap.
It's not capless. Not capless fueling. Big letdown there. Right?
I'm surprised too, that should have been carbon fiber too. Usually that's what they do with the
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, this would, if it was painted carbon fiber, sure, but I feel like just a carbon fiber thing might look a little odd because you only have this side skirt that's in carbon fiber on the side, so to sort of draw your eye to this and sort of kind of ruin the whole side appearance. If it was painted carbon fiber, not going to complain with that.
Kevin or as miles per gallon.
19 combined. Not terrible for an NAV8, right? Not awful. 24 highway and like 16 city.
How many gallons of gas does it have?
I don't know, sometimes it says here. It does not say. I'm not sure what the fuel tank size is. Kevin asked that?
Yes. Dylan asked, how is the styling in the exterior carbon?
all the carbon fiber looks fantastic. So here, like, take this full rear view. I wanted to show that because I think it looks
nice.
awesome from the back. Like looking at that wing, looking at the carbon fiber diffuser, the titanium blue tinged exhaust. It looks rad from the back. It looks rad from the side. It looks rad from the front. It's a great looking car. It looks like it means business. I'd be a little scared if I was in another car pulling up next to this. But if you know the specs, you'll know that most of its main rivals are going to be quicker and probably do a little better on track.
How's the suspension?
Great. So it's really good at both of its intentions. So it's even though it's a dedicated track car, around town it's very comfortable. The adaptive dampers really soften up the blows of the road. And then on track it firms up a ton, as you'll see in my drive impressions. I'm like really riding the rails there with this car. So the suspension is extremely versatile. The adaptive dampers in this are excellent.
Dylan asked, if you own them, would you tune it?
This is one I would actually say sure. Yeah, go for it. You got an NA V8. You can do a couple things to just work on that. You can bore out the cylinder heads. You can do a couple things there. But it already looks like it should be tuned a bit. So I'm like, okay, that's fine, right? Because like stock cars that don't look like they should be tuned, unless you're thinking sleeper, I'm not usually on board. But this, I'm like, yeah, I can see it. And this is also one that, because the suspension is so good, you would not be destroying it by tuning it unless you're like, I'm gonna go do stuff to the suspension. Leave the suspension alone. Do stuff to the engine, make it quicker if you want. But yeah, I can see it tuned.
Kevin R. Asked, told me it's 17.4 gallons.
Okay, that's the size. Good size fuel tank. Wow.
And someone asked, where'd you get that sweater?
Where'd I get the sweater? That's a great question. Banana Republic outlets.
Nice.
Yeah. I only shop at outlets. Can't afford that real store money.
What things do you not like about the car?
I would say the technology. Technology really needs an overhaul. The price, I think it's about 10 grand too expensive. And honestly, that's about it. Like it's not as sharp as the M4 in terms of the steering. The steering is not as quick of a rack. You'll see more of this in the driving impressions, my thoughts on that, but I think it looks great. I think the seats are very comfortable. The suspension is excellent. It's a great daily driver. The soundtrack is phenomenal. So yeah, there's just a few things I don't like about it, and I think they're sort of emphasized by the fact that it's a $100,000 car. That's it.
Diego asks, are those the only wheels that come with it?
Yes, these are the only wheels. So you just get these kind of matte black 19-inch forged alloy lightweight BDS wheels, and they're wrapped in Michelin Pilot Sport Forest tires. Typically very good tires. They unfortunately gave me ones that were fairly worn on the front tires. So you'll see my driving impressions. I'm going like, man, these braking distances aren't that great, but they're carbon ceramic brakes. I'm so confused. And Michelin's are very good tires. So I was confused, but they gave me front tires that are very worn. So this was sort of an oopsie situation because it made me feel like the car wasn't as capable as I know it is. And you'll see that in the driving impression.
No, the vents are actually real. They have a function.
Yeah, functional vents, quarter vents here into the heat exchangers and sending cool air. You can see it actually over here. The pass through of the air, cooling the front brakes and tires, and then it's going to keep and it's being sucked back in here, moving that turbulent air along the side of the car. So it's all functional aerodynamics, functional air manipulation.
How do you feel about the grill?
I'm on board. I'll tell you what. Like I used to not. I was like, oh come on, that's like ridiculous. But I've kind of like started to embrace it. It, unlike the M4's grill by comparison, which I still can't get on board with. I still think it looks funky. This I'm like, all right. They made a stand, and you know what? It works with the design. The M4's grill just like weird tacked on thing. This, everything flows sharply, angles, and it kind of works for me. Should we go drive it?
This is a good question.
Yeah.
Do you think this could be a collector's car?
Yes, for two reasons. One, the limited production, so they're only making 120, I think, total from 21 and 22 model years, and the NAV8. This engine, a naturally aspirated V8 motor, is going to be almost completely phased out in at least the next 2 years. So finding that in a brand new car is going to be a collector-ish approach. That and the limited production. So those two things could make it a collector's item. But again, you got to be willing to fork over the $100 grand to get in the door. So it better appreciate a lot for you to feel like you're making money. I wouldn't buy the car to make money though. I'd buy it just to enjoy.
Oh, this is a good. So Kyle said, not a related topic at all, but your Camaro LT1 video was official for me to get my 2022 LT1 car.
Dude,
Great
I love it.
videos, too.
I love it. Thank you. I'm so glad because the LT1 was super fun. You bought a great car, to be honest. All right, let's go for a drive.
Give me a second. I gotta move now.
Oh yeah. We don't really have the backseat option for you this time. It's gonna be too tight. How good do those seats feel?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They're
Comfortable.
super comfy seats.
They feel good too.
And we'll just start in normal mode as you cruise on out. I like the mechanical gear selector here.
So they want to see a brake test and the interiors. The interiors feels really nice. It's
Yeah,
solid.
so as I mentioned, guys, the brakes are going to be somewhat overshadowed by the fact that the front tires are really worn. So they're not going to be able to do the best job because of those front tires. I do need to pause and grab that MilesPerHr thing off the
Oh, it fell off?
license plate. No, I just want to grab it
Oh.
because before we start driving. But yeah, that's going to be a limiting factor. But the seats feel so good.
Yeah. How much torque does it have?
395 pound-feet, which is pretty even with its rivals. One sec.
Yeah, I feel you guys when you say it feels that it's outdated. It needs a new technology setup.
What's
brand
that?
New. People are saying that it feels outdated, so it needs a new.
Yeah, it does. I mean, the screen size is fine at 10 inches-ish, but the resolution's not great, and having to use this trackpad for that is so not cool.
Yeah, well, we follow the speed here.
Yeah, we're doing 15 miles per hour in the parking lot. That's what we do.
Torque was
395.
395.
472 horsepower, 395 pound-feet.
How's the turning radius?
Really good. You'll see in my test drive and drive impressions, the turning radius is really tight. So here we're just in normal mode, and Patrick, you can feel the suspension is excellent. We'll go over some bumps real quick. And yeah, I mean, you just hardly feel them. They're just.
No, it feels really good.
It absorbs those bumps and bruises very well. It still feels taut like a sports car should, but it doesn't kind of hit you in the spine. As we turn this corner, we'll go into sport mode. Not full on, sport plus. And I'll put the pin down. Listen to that. Listen to that V8.
On the track,
it's so
I
good.
think I could see this being really fun.
Yeah. I mean, well, just like hearing that on song the whole time we were at the track, it'd be a great soundtrack.
Nice. Does it have Android Auto?
It does have Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, neither of which are wireless. So you're going to have to plug in, and it only has USB ports, not USB-C ports, and no wireless charging. Once again, the tech is not the latest and greatest.
Double asked, does it feel loud and aggressive, even on normal drive mode?
In normal drive mode, it doesn't. It actually sounds like really nice and melodious in the V8. It just is like deep, a throaty noise. But as you put your foot in it, even in normal mode, it'll open up the baffles and you'll get to hear it. And it sounds great. But sport mode's where it's at. Because sport mode keeps the ride quality still pretty good. You can also do a custom mode, so you can have louder exhaust, but the more supple ride quality. And custom mode is kind of that or sport or where it's at.
Yeah, I really like the seats. I think of all the cars we've reviewed, I think these are
Cullinan was actually pretty nice. But
Cullinan, yeah. I mean, well, so okay, like
that's
just
something
just
different,
straight
yeah.
up comfy, Cullinan fine. But I mean, like a nice blend of comfy and supportive, because these really hold you in place well with the bolsters, but they're super comfy.
Does it handle well in the corners?
Definitely, yeah. It handles very well. As I mentioned, of the front tires being worn out as they are, the tires aren't being able to do their best job. The suspension does a great job firming up. Losing 178 pounds compared to the standard RCF, thanks to all the carbon fiber, helps in the way this car changes direction, so it's much more willing to change side to side. It's very confident in the corners for sure.
What's the top speed?
168. Whereas a lot of its rivals are limited to 155. I think the RS5 is limited to 155 unless you get the Scari edition, and that's 179 or 180. The C63 is limited to 155. M4 is limited to 155.
Kevin RS doesn't have blind spot monitoring.
It does not, actually. Shockingly. It gets adaptive cruise control and lane keep assist. It does not have blind spot monitoring. That seems peculiar to me.
Road noise is pretty quiet.
Yeah, at speed, it's a very well insulated cabin. You're hearing more V8 than anything else. And it's just yeah, man. This is a Lexus through and through. In how it treats you around town. It's just very nice to drive. Such a great descriptive word. Nice.
Does horsepower feel underrated, or? Yeah,
I would say 472 seems about right. It seems kind of dead on. Some feel underrated, some feel overrated. This feels dead on. It is good. It is very good. It's not a lazy V8, that's for sure. And the gearbox, if you go into manual mode, is quick.
Yeah, Kevin. No, it sounds really good.
It sounds awesome,
really
guys.
good.
The M4 doesn't sound this good. C63 with its V8 does sound good. Now, of course, they're phasing out the V8. The RS5 doesn't sound this good. And I mean, come on, that NA V8 noise is such a rarity. You've got to appreciate it.
Do the brake test.
Not here. Not right here. At a light, I will do a brake test for you guys. We'll go to Sport Plus. Most tenacious drive mode. That is a treat. Do that all day. Guys, you know what would be great? If you like the sound of this V8, you know what I like? I'd love if anyone did a super chat. That'd be great. Super chat for more V8 noise. Anyone? It's okay. I'll keep doing it.
Yeah, no, actually the connection here for some reason is better. Someone just pointed that out.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Good to know, guys. All right. We'll be doing it more in this vicinity than in the other one. I'm glad to hear that. Thank you for reporting that. That helps.
No, the shifts are pretty. Kevin Art, I think you would actually like this car.
They're
It's
quick
pretty nice.
and they hit you. It's not just like, like transmissions are trying as much as possible to be smooth. This one is smooth when you're just motoring around town, but then when you are in manual mode in a Sport Plus, it like tries to give you more visceral, huge difference.
How would you compare this car to a Supra, king of shorts ass?
Yeah, so Supra would be another one you compete against. Granted, the Supra is nowhere near as expensive as this one is, even in the... Here, we'll do a brake test here. I don't want to scare this biker, so I'm just going to slam on the brakes here. You know what the problem is?
Okay.
It's the tires.
Yeah.
It's the front tires.
It,
That's not the issue.
you could feel that it was losing grip.
Yeah, because like the braking force there is really strong. The bite or the pedal feel is very assured, but it's the tires. You just feel it like kind of just sliding forward, and that's just the grip of the tires. Wait, what was the question?
How would you compare this car to the Supra?
Yeah, so the Supra, makes less power. It is, I think, quicker to 60. I think they get that one in like 3.9. Top speed's gonna be lower, also limited to 155. It is a BMW powertrain. I think this looks cooler than the Supra. I think the Supra looks great. This looks even cooler. And yeah, but I'll say like the handling of this BMW system, it's the Supra for the drive.
Also visibility up front.
Visibility, it's a little narrow. The dash seems kind of high and the windshield is kind of low. Back you've got a huge, and this is blind spot monitoring would be nice. You've got a big old seat for my left shoulder. C-pillar back there is fat, so the outward visibility is not the best.
Kevin R asked, I think because we are in the mountains and stuff.
Oh yeah,
so
we're
maybe
getting more into here. All right, I'll flip it around.
Thanks, Kevin.
Yeah, thanks for letting us know.
Yeah, 'cause sometimes we can't figure it out until you guys
until
say
it actually
something.
cuts out or something we don't know.
Yeah, usually plus there's like fog too, so I think that's not helping the situation with the connection. Let's see. Does the 0 to 60 feel more or less than 4 seconds?
No, and in my real world test, I did a run at 4.4 seconds, so it felt kind of like about what Lexus is claiming. And when you do get on it, though, it hustles.
Yeah, Kevin, this is like the back area of Tustin and stuff. It's like in between Irvine and Tustin on the 261 or 241. Oh yeah, 261.
My drive impressions. So guys, check that out. When
CJ, yeah, sounds really good. I try to hold on.
Yeah.
It's kind of holding the camera and trying to get on myself.
yeah.
Really fun. Yeah, bring the car here. I mean, I think that's cool. When he drives a GOC 300.
Oh, nice.
Kevin R, are you from here or are you from California or? Tuxedo Cat, easy to drive, just like normal.
Yeah, Tuxedo Black Cat. Haven't heard from you for a while. I think it's because I was doing these a little earlier. So thanks for joining us. It is very easy to drive in normal mode. It's kind of like just driving a nice luxury coupe. It's easy. The throttle input is very smooth. It's not like too abrupt, and the brake pedal feel is modular.
Someone just donated and said, Churros said, redline this baby.
All right, guys, thank you so much. All right, here we go. We'll go to Sport Plus, manual mode. Take it all the way to it's 7,200 RPM redline. Here we go. There it is. And it gives you the audio cue. It's like, hey, red line's approaching, red line's approaching. Do it one more time. That was right there at 7,200.
Is this better than the track edition?
This is the track edition, effectively. Like, they kind of just carried over the track edition. They called it now the Fuji Speedway, but it's effectively the track edition. It's got all the same hardware. Yeah, so it is the track edition. It's not better or worse.
Yeah, no, it felt. It's crazy. The seats are really good, man.
Yeah.
I'm really surprised that. Kevin R's from Long Beach. What's up, Long Beach?
Nice, dude. Not too far. Any other questions?
Should they put the LC 500 10 speed on this?
It's a good question. The LC 500 10 speed, I don't think is as well suited to the performance as this 8-speed. They've tuned this 8-speed in a way where the shifts are quick. They can feel engaging in Sport Plus mode. The 10-speed is going to be a smoother operation, but as we're seeing from these like 9, 10 speed transmissions. That's a lot of, in manual mode, that's a lot of downshifts, right? Obviously, if you are already in a Sport Plus mode and you're in a low enough gear, it's not that big of an issue, but they really have to do a lot of tweaking to the gear rate to make sure that you're in a place where you always have power. Whereas 8 speeds, it's a nicer spread than spreading it across 10 different speeds. So I think this 8 speed is just fine. Who wouldn't love a manual, but the 8 speed is very good. I wouldn't say it needs the 10 speed.
Tuxedo Black Cat asks, does it feel gentle and comfortable when driving it like normal or not?
Yeah, definitely. So the suspension softens up quite a bit in normal mode or eco mode or custom mode. And that with the seat comfort means that it's really just very pleasant to drive around town.
Does it feel cheap?
No.
No.
You can find cheapness in places. You can find the hard plastics. The technology, I suppose, looks a little cheapened out at this point because new technology is so much better. But I wouldn't say you get the impression of cheapness here at all. All right, guys. Probably
There's your turn signals though.
Okay, you want to hear the turn signals?
Yeah.
So these turn signals are interesting because they
Down
don't
the left.
actually click down. They click
really?
and go back. So even if you're just doing a one touch, it does down and back, but full turn signal, you got to press a little harder, but it goes right back to the center. So to disengage, you have to click up.
Kevin R asks, what is the star crashing rating on this?
I don't know what the crash test rating is on the RCF. I don't think they're going to have a specific rating for the Fuji, although it does use carbon fiber panels instead of just the aluminum or steel panels that they have just in the RC. But I don't know what the crash test rating is for this one, guys. Sorry about that.
Let's see. You think Lexus hasn't changed its designs in years?
They have been sort of similar for a long time now. But I think what has helped them stay relevant longer is the fact that they came out with like really shocking designs with that big grille and the harsh angles. And so as other manufacturers have started to introduce more daring designs, Lexus is like, yeah, well, we did it first. So I think their designs have stayed fresh on the exterior. Inside, we need a little massaging here. We need some updating specifically for this area and the technology.
Kevin R asked, how many airbags does it have?
Another good question. I'm not sure. I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm certain there are a couple more in the back. At least 6. I just don't know the official number off the top of my head, Kevin. Guys, thank you so much for watching. We're going to wrap up this live Q&A here and watch the test drive and the drive impressions coming out in a week and a half. Before then, we're going to have the Lamborghini for you. We've got the Ford Bronco coming out this coming week. All the test drives, off-road, review for that one. And please go watch my Lexus ES 250 F Sport Hybrid. ES 200 Hybrid? Can't remember. 300 Hybrid F Sport review that's up now on MilesPerHr. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you next time.
And thank you for donating, Chris Els. I'm sorry.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chris, super appreciate your support.
Thanks so much.
Yeah.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys. Have a good rest of your weekend.